Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another fantastic night of League of Legends esports here at the campus of the University of Wisconsin River Falls. We have a great night for it. The weather is chilled rain, giving my pectorals the ability to cut diamonds, so I can't see any other night where the perfectionate game that our players are going to play could come out. I know that these players are red hot and really heated up after last week's loss against Ball State Black. So I know that they're going to be bringing the pain this time around. I am joined by my co-host, Gavin. Gavin, how are you doing?
Great to be here, James. Happy to be here as usual. We're ready to get into some League of Legends. River Falls, a little bit of the underdog pick today, so let's see what they can do. Let's see if they can stand their ground and put up a good fight. And we are so ready against Missouri Baptist U here this afternoon. We got hopefully 3 full games unless River Falls wants a 2-0. I mean, I'm down for that. I'm down for an early night. We like to start off on top lane with our draft picks here, and we've got an Aatrox who we know I'm blanking.
Alezria?
Alezria. Still a relatively new
the
name.
Pronunciation is too much for us, but
still relatively new names for me.
These rookies.
Alezria is very comfortable on this Aatrox, so it's
absolutely.
really great that we get to see them in a spot that they are familiar with versus this Jace, it looks like.
Yeah, so the Jace pick is actually going to be a little difficult for the Aatrox, but knowing our players, they can adapt to pretty much any situation. However, in the early game, Jace is going to be a monster with that poke and range damage. As long as the Aatrox can handle the spacing correctly, I think that Alezria can handle this matchup and scale into the late game, because Jace poke is going to deal a lot of damage around those objectives, especially in that mid to late game. However, Aatrox can run away with team fights faster than Jace can do anything.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a mix-up in our picks again, but I believe our jungling matchup is going to be Gwen versus Vi.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, pretty good initiators, I think this is a really, what's the word I'm looking for? This is a really
tight matchup.
Come on, please. I'm looking for the word. This pick makes sense for River Falls, having Gwen in the jungle, having Peach be aggressive as she is. I think I'm excited to see what plays she's ready to make. It seems like she's still trying to pick that kind of flex role in the jungle and bounce around on different champions to see what she's really, what she can really bring to the table with. And I'm excited to see this Gwen. I think this could work really well.
Yeah, so lest we forget the previous iterations of the University of Wisconsin River Falls League team, some of the glory days, we do know that Fridgley was actually not rotated to jungle immediately during the initial season for River Falls. I believe it was 2 years ago now. It was actually Peach, by then she was going by Enchanting, in the jungle role, which means that this Gwen is actually something we've seen before, albeit very long ago. Gwen has gone through a lot of different changes, buffs, nerfs, mainly nerfs. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that translates into a jungle role in the current meta, especially up against a Vi, which is a very volatile jungler when it comes to the enemy team. There can be a lot of flexibility with this pick. Vi is very good in the late game just by securing some of these stationary targets, especially these squishier players such as the Hui and the Senna. However, Gwen can run away with games as long as she is able to get ahead first. So when it's on an even footing, the Vi is usually going to outscale just because of the utility that Vi has to offer. However, if the Gwen can start buff rating or to get some of those early objectives, maybe playing around that top side with the Aatrox on those grubs, the Gwen can run away with the game just solely with the damage she outputs.
And I think one of the big reasons for this Gwen pick that I think is going to be really powerful is the matchup into ganks, especially on mid lane against this Orianna. She's going to be able to pick fights against the range that Orianna brings, and then also if Jace is going to be in that mid-range range that he's picking, or he is in at the time, I think that's going to be a really strong gank.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Moving into the mid-roll now, we have Ares and Arrow Hunter, 2 A names. This is going to not get complicated at all, I'm sure. So, the Hui matchup, a utility mage, or not a utility mage, but more of a burst mage. Artillery is the word I'm looking for. An artillery mage versus Orianna, which can be used as artillery, but it's mainly for that mid-range combat, and pairs very well with this Vi. The Vi ult on top of the Orianna orb, maybe even initiating a shockwave right after the ult, can prove to be a devastating combo. This is why you see the Ori Nocturne, Ori Vi, Ori Pantheon. These kind of junglers that can jump onto an enemy when they least expect it, maybe even a global ult, well, pseudo-global, the things that Nocturne and Vi have. So I think that that's what River Falls' main goal is going to be throughout the entirety of this game, is once that level 6 benchmark hits, and Vi and the Orianna, Ares, and Colton are going to be looking for these kind of ganks and these kinds of plays, River Falls needs to space themselves out properly and not overgroup.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that last week of trying to be grouped up, but also being grouped apart enough to where it makes sense to go in. You know, you're not fully split. You have the ability to still focus the same target and not, you know, get caught up and then just kind of split and picked off one by one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a matter of patience with River Falls. I think that's something they learned, especially after the hard loss they suffered last week. However, those games were very close. It was simply the early game that got away with them that eventually snowballed. However, they put up a phenomenal fight against Ball State Black, I believe is what the name was. So we're going to have to see how they translate that into this. Ball State Black unfortunately filled that penny jar up little by little, and unfortunately River Falls didn't have the rainy day jar accessible to them, so it was going to be, I believe it was a 2-1 or was it 2-0?
I think it was a 2-1.
But it seems like River Falls is going to flip the script this time around, playing a lot of these comfort champs. The only individual that I would say is on something that maybe we're not used to seeing them on, even if it's on a previous iteration of the team, like I was saying with Peach on this Gwen, is Arrow Hunter. We've seen him on this way before, but we are more akin to seeing the veteran of Pizza Boy on these artillery mages and more of these backliners, where Arrow Hunter is a very in-your-face kind of player. So it's going to be very interesting to see him on this kind of pick in game number 1, no doubt. I'm not sure exactly what the bans were. My memory could be serving me incorrectly, but I believe Ambessa was actually banned against Arrow Hunter, and that may be why they didn't pick it, because Ambessa could go very turbo this game, especially on top of the Gwen engage, so it's very interesting to see River Falls not draft that. However, there must be a reason behind it, and honestly, Hui is a totally fine substitute.
Those are their bans.
So Yep, we do have the ban list in front of us now, thanks to our tech team. The Nefiru is actually banned, which is a very, very interesting one. I can totally see the, especially the Lulu and the Mel. This is something that our players here at River Falls are very comfortable on. The Nefiru is a very interesting one. Those are the enemy bans, the bans that we had.
Yep, these
are
are
completely separate. But before I get too sidetracked onto the bans, Arrow Hunter going to take about half of his HP. Alizria just forced to come down to help his boy out, but Arrow Hunter, it may be too late for him, and that spells doom on top of first blood for the Jace. An unfortunate start to the game here for River Falls, but they've bounced back from worse. Alizria doing his best to try and help with that engage. However, it is simply going to be a 0-1 trade out. No matter though, the Doran shield is going to proc onto this Aatrox, going to get that small amount of health that he lost from the Jace poke back. Autumn is actually a little worse for wear now, down about a fourth of his mana bar. So let's see if this Aatrox can capitalize on that, or if it's just going to be a non-factor. Now, Arrow Hunter back in the mid lane, did not miss too much of that CS, is going to be on equal footing with Ares during this early game. An unfortunate slip up for River Falls, but yet again, they have bounced back from worse before.
For this early part of the game, I think it's going to be all right that Jace has that kill because, you know, they're just going to be tussling, and River Falls does like to gank up on the top lane quite a bit. So maybe they're going to opt to kind of focus up top, put Jace back in his place and put him down a little bit. Or maybe we opt for, you know, buffing some of our other lanes here. But I mean, we've seen Eerie on this Senna on bot side looking really comfortable over the weeks that he's been picked, and Alizria is just getting jabbed out by Autumn here with that hammer, and it's just hurting. But you know, Aatrox got that health regen and lifesteal, so I think he'll be fine. He's got the spacing he needs, hopefully, to move around the lane and throw in a couple jabs where he can.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to go for as much CS as he possibly can. It's going to be 5-12 right now, but it's exactly what you expect in the Jace-Aatrox matchup. Meanwhile, in the jungle role, Peach is getting bullied by Colton on this Vi. This is exactly what I was talking about, is playing around Peach as much as possible, ensuring that she is able to get the camps she needs. And unfortunately, that's not going to be the case as the Colton buff invades and does not clear out the bottom side of his own jungle, instead opting to go for an invade on the top side.
It looks like Arrow Hunter is trying to look for something here, or at least get vision on that buff to try and not waste Peach's time. Make sure to chase him out. Oh, looks like that blue buff is still there, but we're fighting down here in the bot lane, which is something we don't really see a lot of in the first few minutes. And Eerie is just chunking his health, but Mr. Wadsworth is there. He's got the heal. Everything is just fine. Mr. Wadsworth doing a fantastic job on this Nami healer, which we've seen him do time and time again.
Flash over the wall secures Eerie his own life for how much longer? That was Cthulhu on the Rakan. That was both of his own summoners, so this could be beneficial for River Falls as long as Peach can make a rotation down, but instead opting to go for the mid play against Ares, chunking that Orianna to about half instead, just trying to help Arrow Hunter out as much as possible. Brought down to very, very low HP. Ares. Nope, never mind. I said Eerie instead of Ares, but Ares looking for a little bit of a tussle in the mid lane now. It looks like Vi's going to be hovering to see if Arrow Hunter wants to go back into lane with no mana and very minimal health. But instead, rotating back up around that blue buff, Vi has been spotted by that burst plant, so the blue buff will hopefully be secured by the Gwen, knowing that the Vi is lurking around here, going to try and speedily take this out. No! It's actually going to be a Q channel that drives Peach off of the blue buff. It's going to be a smite fight, and it's going to be secured by Colton. Peach now worse for wear with a level 4 Vi hanging around. There's not much she can do here.
Ooh, Arrow Hunter able to punish Ares for moving out of the lane, and we've got 3 people going into Peach's jungle here, but we've got a bot lane tussle here again. Cthulhu just being really aggressive on this Rakan just because he can be. He's got so much self-sustain, so much healing with that heal, with that Q, and then of course with that E for his barrier on him and his ally, just keeping them alive and, you know, really just laying into this River Falls team here, which River Falls absolutely not you know, a stranger to being pushed back onto their turret. We've seen it time and time again, especially for these bot laners. So I think Eerie and Wadsworth are, you know, they might be looking a little worse for wear, but I think Eerie is staying on top of his CS. You know, Wadsworth is helping out where he can, and they're in it for the long haul, I think, and we're going to be, I think, definitely seeing more from them in the later parts of the game.
It's very interesting here because Alizria is actually not using the teleport, so this must be a known macro player, or at least some sort of wave management that I'm unaware of, because he was actually able to get his very first back. That's why you see the cloth armor and the boots and the refillable. However, not using that TP and not initially putting it down on cooldown, they may be looking for a bot or mid play with the help of his Aatrox.
That's
Ares,
a really good call.
Who really worse for wear now, however, has a mana advantage over Arrow Hunter, and Arrow Hunter does not have that TP, even though he's been sitting in the short lane the entirety of him playing these games. Cosmic Comet is going to hit onto Ares, but is not going to secure the kill, and it looks like both these mid laners are going to back.
Missouri Baptist has a lot of vision, though it is faltering a little bit on this top side in the river, but they are definitely prepared for Peach too if she was to rotate up and through the bot side river. Ares would be able to make their move, and sounds like Peach was ready for it, so she decided to just back, not waste too much of her time, as Arrow Hunter is also low mana, low health, and needs to recall. So it looks like we're pretty same tempo here on the mid side.
River Falls is totally okay with throwing away this kind of early game lead as long as they are allowed to scale, but that is a very big if right now. Arrow Hunter definitely worse for wear up against Ares because the Shockwave is now available for Ares. However, on the bottom lane, Eerie is going to be tagged up by both members of the enemy bottom lane from Baptist University. However, it's not going to secure a kill. Brought down to about half HP.
I think Eerie held on to his W there. I don't think I saw that stun go off. I don't know if it was on cooldown or if he was just on top of his mana management there, because he is just waiting, and he's going to get jumped on here by this Cthulhu again, and Cookie is just throwing that Ezreal W in the barrier. Perfectly timed. Can we chalk that up? I believe that's number 2. Perfectly timed barriers by Eerie to just save his life, and he just walks out. Cool man, brushes off the shoulder.
Oh, the greed on that barrier. I would have popped that long ago, but just to hold it for the last possible moment before an Ezreal Q hits you and takes your own life. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Arrow Hunter is actually going to be brought down to about half HP, forced to flash away from Colton's charged Q. And that is going to be the Orianna Shockwave expended. However, trade it for Arrow Hunter's Flash. You're going to be sitting pretty on this mid lane matchup. Now brought up to level 7, Ares is going to hit like a truck. How is the mid lane of River Falls going to recover from this?
I think there's so much vision being seen. There's so much vision being taken. It's kind of hard to see, kind of hard to call, you know, who's going to go where. It looks like somewhere in the midst of all of that, Missouri Baptist took the Drake. I don't know when that happened.
I have no idea.
Completely passed my mind. But Ezreal throwing in some chop damage. Arrow Hunter waiting for his time. Maybe going to try and take some of these minions. And he at least took one of them small wolves.
I believe Arrow Hunter actually stole a few away, but this is exactly what I was talking about. Colton hit level 6 and is able to use that Vi ultimate, presses the R key, locks down Arrow Hunter for a solid 2.5 seconds. That gives Ares just enough time to use all of that damage that he's been saving in this mid lane matchup. Now 0-0-2 on this Orianna, and 2-0-1 with a bounty on her head in the Vi.
What do you do? What do you do? They're just going to jump on you.
Peach just said, I've had enough. I'm just going to buff raid myself. She's going to be in my jungle. I'm going to go in their jungle.
Ooh.
But unfortunately, Cthulhu and Cookie Edge is there for the follow-up. It's going to be 3 members of Missouri Baptist pushing off this Gwen, but Wadsworth is there to support his boys. Unfortunately, the ultimate from the Ezreal comes out and claims the life of the enemy jungler. Now it's just going to be up to Wadsworth and Eerie. Wadsworth is forced to flash away from all of the incoming damage, and now Ares, Cthulhu, and Cookie Edge are going to be on the hunt. Ward clearing out. The remaining 2 members of the Falls are going to be sitting in this pixel bush, but we got to look at Arrow Hunter, forced to pull back from that Shockwave, brought down to about half HP, but not before chunking down Ares to 1 HP. Chains of Corruption are going to land onto the Orianna, but not going to net a kill. 3 members of River Falls are still fighting strong, and like I said, they're not going to be going down without one big hell of a tussle.
We have 2 supports on this bot side. The clutch Eerie ultimate coming from bot lane to save Peach, just give her enough shield so where she can get a little bit of chip damage and get a little bit of health back, and Wadsworth is just taking the damage for Eerie here, and they're just trading. It's my turn to be the hero. It's my turn to be the support. You go take a breather. Eerie's putting in damage here. He's putting in work. He's putting in shielding. He's putting in mobility for his team. I can't believe we got out. Did we get out of that with nothing? With no deaths?
Well, no deaths on the side of Missouri Baptist. However, Peach was fallen.
Oh, that's right. The Ezreal ult came in.
Ezreal. Cookie Edge also just phase shifting very aggressively. This is exactly the benefit of an Ezreal early game, especially post level 6 or pre-level 6, is able to just phase into a bunch of chunk damage off of the Rakan. What is it, the W, I believe, after that knockup?
Yep.
And that's exactly how they've been able to poke down the bottom lane of River Falls. However, Eerie scaling as much as he possibly can. The Senna is going to be a beast as long as the prerequisite is met of her hitting probably 2 to 3 item spike and getting, what's the soul cap for Eerie before the range just becomes unbelievably huge.
Oh my.
And as I'm talking over myself, Peach brought down to about 1 HP, but 2 members of River Falls are there to back her up. Arrow Hunter brought down to 1 HP as well, and just takes 1 auto attack from Ares to slay Arrow Hunter. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, we're going to have a little bit of a scrap ourselves. Alice Rhea trying to throw down the Chains of Corruption and all of those Qs onto the forehead of the enemy jungler, but Colton is simply too tanky for that with a Trinity Force on this Vi. Little bit of freeze right now, but that's going to be okay. Some tech issues is no problem for us. Alice Rhea forced to push back to the tier 2 tower into the top side. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Cookiech is on a killing spree. 3-0 for this Ezreal, but eventually dies to a tower shot. That kill goes into the favor of Eerie, and now Eerie is able to complete the static shiv. That's going to be a huge benefit for River Falls. Now that the item is online for Senna, he can farm pretty happily.
Yeah, I honestly really strange exchange there. I believe we went from 0 to 4 to 1 to 7 in the side of Baptist, but I mean, River Falls is showing they're able to stake their claims, they're able to show up, they're able to hold their own as much as it's worth, and having that kill, having that shutdown go on to Eerie is just going to be really powerful. He's got static shiv here, he's ready to start doing some damage. I'm going to answer your question. I think about 100 souls is a solid number for Eerie to be on for this Senna, and then, I mean, I think you want to get to maybe 120, 130 before you can really start doing chip damage to turrets and stuff. That range is just going to be a beast, and being able to stay out of the range of this Cthulhu is going to be crucial. And he's just going to jump onto Aerie. He's going to get Mr. Wadsworth as well. The ultimate is going to come out from Rakan as well, and they're just going to try and slow Eerie down, and he is just not going to be able to get out of there.
The WR combo from Cthulhu is lethal for this bottom lane. Both of them end up falling. That might be a secured second Drake for the side of Missouri Baptist. I don't believe anybody in River Falls is in position to contest this objective, so that is going to be 2 down for the side of Missouri Baptist, and they are running away with this game. It is going to be a 4, 5, 6, 7 gold differential right now between these two teams. Arrow Hunter taking a lot of damage from Ares, but the ultimate does hit. Unfortunately, neither player fall. However, the Ezreal ult is going to be seeking and melee on Arrow Hunter. No, sidesteps just in time. The red pings are not going to be enough to hunt down this way, and he is able to slip on out of Death's Maw.
There's so much red in the red side jungle for the blue team. Missouri is just, they've got eyes everywhere, and Arrow Hunter just got back to lane, and Ares is just peppering them. That teleport is not enough to quite save him, but Ares being really aggressive here because he knows Colton is right around the corner and somehow picked up that kill. Wasn't that an auto attack?
It wasn't
just
auto attack,
like
it was
weaved right in between. It looks like Colton ulted there on the Vi after that Q came in. And Cthulhu once again doing Rakan things on the spot side with the grand entrance, knocking both up. Eerie will fall first, and Mr. Wadsworth is not much long for this world unless he can. Oh, he's going to cut out by the grand entrance again. Jeez, that W punishing from Ezreal just does so much damage when he's having that Triforce this early in the game. I mean, Mr. Wadsworth doesn't have a whole lot to protect himself, which it's a Nami, so you can't be too surprised, but.
Triforce tier, this Ezreal can live in lane and deal damage to boot. This is going to be a big hurdle for River Falls to get over after they lost that early game. Unfortunately, Static Shift wasn't online for the Senna, so wasn't able to farm as efficiently as he would have hoped, and that's why it's level 7 to level 9 right now. However, there is still hope for River Falls. One good fight can go their way. All of these shutdowns on every single member of Missouri Baptist could go into the favor of River Falls. They just have to catch one of them out.
Arrow Hunter's ready to fight as he usually is. Oh, just lost sight of that ward, I think. Unfortunately, and he's getting pushed up his turret. He says, I'm out of here.
Now this Hui is fearless. Did you see him trying to box out Autumn, a level 11 Jace,
my
but gets absolutely one-shot by both members of, oh my goodness, Missouri Baptist is just absolutely bringing the heat this game. So much damage in such a small package. That was just a simple Rakan W and a Q over the wall from the Vi in order to CC him enough for the remaining of players to deal enough damage to kill him. I can't believe how fast that went. It only seemed like he was there at full health 1 second and then immediately dissipated from this universe to the next.
Ezreal didn't even get a jab in there.
And unfortunately,
that ultimate came right down after on the dead corpse.
Well, not only do we have a needlessly large rod, but we also have a Hextech gun on this Orianna as well. So as long as that orb is on one of her teammates. She can deal damage from pretty much anywhere, and I think that's exactly what happened and why the burst was so heavy, is that Colton took that orb and ran with it after queuing in. Very, very well done from Missouri Baptist. However, this shouldn't destroy River Falls' mental. They can come back from this as long as a team fight goes their way. Again, look at all these bounties that could go into the jaws of River Falls. Unfortunately for Missouri Baptist, River Falls can get heated after these games and play game 2 even better than they played game number 1. So Baptist University needs to be careful for that and not anger the beast too much. Aries now boxing out Air Hunter to the bottom lane, taking an even trade. However, the ultimate was expected
Getting a
from
little
both
greedy,
players.
are we?
Getting very greedy, and the shutdown goes to the Hui after a turret shot lands on the forehead of Aries. Now we have a little bit of a scuffle into the mid lane. Eerie forced to flash out and sidesteps the Ezreal ult. Now channeling the Q, the Vi in the mid lane. It opts to actually go back in, doing a bunch of chip damage onto Wadsworth, but I don't think he realized that Peach was there. Jungle free jungle, and the flash is expended from Colton, level 11. Vi is on the prowl in that jungle, but instead is opting to go off into the Jace's lane. Instead of remaining into the mid lane, Cthulhu and Eerie Arrow Hunter are now going to have a solid 2v2. Peach hovering along with Wadsworth. Now it's just going to be up to the Aatrox to cover this. Top lane, Chains of Corruption are going to go wide as Colton steps out of that very easily. The ultimate from the Vi is going to land on Wadsworth, but not net a kill. Autumn jumping away, but is going to be canceled by some sort of knockback. I don't know exactly what that was.
I have no idea where that came from.
I thought it was a bubble at first, and then I saw the animation. I was like, what the heck knocked him back? But that was able to secure his life for about 2 more seconds. Then he lasted 14 seconds now in the fountain. River Falls is up Craps Creek without a paddle with their support in the grave. It's going to be a 4v5 as the remaining players of Missouri Baptist march towards these inhibitors. I don't think they're going to be going for an end here, but they are going to be doing some serious structural damage.
Autumn opted to take Rift Herald for a little bit of a detour and try and chip down, I believe, that mid turret, but didn't look like it connected. And Missouri's still trying to get out as River Falls is still trying to fight. Like a little chihuahua at the door.
Aries is taking the tier 2 on the bottom side while this is all happening, so there's going to be more gold on the Orianna. However, the bounty was already claimed. Unfortunately, the Orianna is simply too far ahead at this point with a Rabadon's cap under her belt. She's going to be dealing some huge amounts of damage. It is going to be up to River Falls' priorities and target management to take down this Orianna in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think. Oh no, did I bump a cable? No, I bumped a cable.
That's okay. We saw the stream going right now. We're still viewing. We still have the entirety of the game to go. This still could be anybody's game, honestly. Nobody's FF'd yet.
Well, I wonder if we can still be heard. I don't know where these microphones go.
That's a very, very good point.
Well, we got some tussling on mid lane. We got some ults going out. Mr. Wadsworth is just caught out, and the cookie is just at Ezreal's damage is just coming out, ready to play, and this Vi is ready for more.
Colton's ultimate is going to land on the forehead of Alizria, and now the Aatrox is in the grave. Colton is unstoppable as he picks up that way for his trouble as well. There's going to be 3 members of River Falls in the grave now, Eerie and Peach. Nope, they make that just Eerie. Pops the barrier, but it's not going to be enough as all the remaining players of Missouri Baptist collapse on his position in this tier 3 turret. It looks like they may be marching towards an end here. There's going to be a GG in the chat. However, the series is not over. Match number 1. Looks like it's going to be going towards the Baptist University. These Christians know something we don't. With the power of Christ, they pick up game number 1. However, with the power of friendship, River Falls is not out of the woods yet. They are going to come harder and swing even faster in game number 2. I can't wait to see how the draft goes.
Absolutely, and I'm excited for this draft. I'm excited for River Falls to take what they've been beaten up against in this last game, and then turn it around and bring something really special to game number 2.
So we are going to take a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us through all of those technical difficulties. There may be a little bit of stuttering here and there. There may be some blackouts. However, we will always be determined to bring you as much of the game as we possibly can because we are happy to be here. We are happy to cast these games, and we are happy to watch our team's victories. Even though they may hit some low points and some slumps, they can always bounce back from anything. First victory will go to Baptist University, but stay tuned. There's more league to be played. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with some more League of Legends. I am so excited after seeing this draft. Now, this is going to be in roll order, what you're seeing right now. River Falls on the right side, whereas Missouri Baptist University, pardon me, is going to be on the left side. It's going to be Lee Sin top into a Malphite, then Rengar, Kiana in the jungle, Vex Irelia on the mid lane, Ashe Misfortune in the bot lane, and finally Orianna Nico. Both mages that you can see in the mid lane, one more common lane than the other, in that support role.
This is quite possibly the kookiest draft we've seen in, what is this, week 5 or 6, I think. We were watching draft, and we are just like trying to connect the dots. It's like Chutes and Ladders board we're looking at. Like, you go mid, this guy's going to be jungle. No, wait, where does this go? So we have Lee Sin on top, which I like. I like the Lee Sin top. I think that's cool. Rengar jungle, we've seen that before. The Orianna support is really interesting, especially since we just saw Orianna mid.
So we assume, well, knowing what order these were drafted in as well after seeing it on that third-party site, it's very interesting to see the Orianna go bot because they won so dominantly with it in the mid lane last game. However, Missouri drafted it third pick, so that's why we thought it was going mid.
Right.
But then it went to the bottom lane, so we had no idea what was going on. The last pick that Missouri had was Vex, and that's what Vex does.
Yeah.
Is we had no idea where this Vex was going to go. There was a Lee Sin, Rengar, Ashe, Orianna on the board. We thought, okay, we've seen some Lee Sin support before. We've seen it in pubs. We've seen it on the G Spree channel. We've seen it maybe even in Pro League, but my memory isn't serving me. However, an Orianna support in order to allow a Vex to go mid and then flexing that Lee Sin top, that's very McDonald's-y almost. You know what I mean? It's a very McDonald's draft. You got like half a hash brown in this bag and then 3 cookies in the other one.
I mean, I think obviously it's going to do what they want it to do because they have a support that picked it. So, you've got the CC from Orianna, you got the shield from Orianna. Really, that's all you need. She's ranged. She can throw out some poke here and there. And, I mean, against the Nico Misfortune, if they're going to try and funnel this Ashe as best that they can, and especially have this Ashe be really, aggressive like Ashe can be with those built-in slows, if they just catch somebody out, you got Orianna backing up the Ashe and maybe jumping in, putting out a little forearm and saying, hey, stop this. We're going to stop everything that's going on right now, stop this tussle, and we're going to get out of here. Come on, Ashe, we're getting out. So, I mean, Misfortune, going to have those slows, going to have that damage. Nico, going to have that damage and going to have that stun. So, I think we saw a lot of fighting just all throughout Game 1, and we're going to see nothing but a lot of fighting again in Game 2. So, I'm really excited to see this bot lane. We've seen Eerie on this Misfortune. I don't think we've seen Mr. Wadsworth on this Nico. But I mean, I love the Nico pick on support. Just being able to lock down the enemy if you catch him out of the way, it's going to be really strong for you.
Yeah, this is something we discussed pre-draft as well. Is that once we saw this Nico drafted, I believe, it was about 3rd in the draft. It was before the second wave of bans, I believe.
I think it was number 2.
It was number 2, exactly. So it was before the second wave of bans. We wanted to prioritize this Nico because Nico is actually in a very, very good state right now. You don't see her a lot in mid. However, in that support role, especially in pretty much all levels of hyper-competitive play, you see this character just dominate and get the ADC ahead, which is what you want on the Misfortune. You want Misfortune to get maybe BT online or IE online before the enemy can get 2 or 3 items. Obviously, that's not the first item that you'd rush. You'd maybe want to go Collector. Some Misfortunes like to go Kraken Slayer. It depends what Eerie wants to go. I understand that he would know how to build ADCs a lot better than I do. However, because this Nico is so dominant and can flex in any role, you could really get any lane ahead that you really want to. They're probably not going to dump a lot of resources into the Malphite. However, if the Nico chooses to rotate into the mid lane, this Irelia, which is a close, melee matchup, I suppose you can make an argument for the blades being spun out everywhere, whether it's melee or ranged, but a primarily melee ranged matchup into the Vex, that may be something that you want to consider is rotating that Nico up. Is going to be able to allow this Irelia to get ahead and start steamrolling over this Vex, who will initially start squishy before getting slightly more tanky throughout the game. You want to capitalize on these early game squishies that Baptist has brought to the table before they can counteract with all of their scaling.
Absolutely. Oh, I think I put them on the wrong side.
No, that is correct. That is absolutely correct. little bit of tech issue, but that's okay. It was just more of a misunderstanding. Unbelievable.
Calm down.
What do I pay
Everybody
you for?
calm down. All right. I want to talk about this jungle because we have been hyping up this Kiana in this jungle. Did Peach play this week 1?
Now,
Was this a week 1 pick?
Kiana is a pick that Peach has played before and seemed very comfortable on. This is something that I've, praised to the moon and back with you. In the meantime, between these kind of breaks, I am always praising Peach's Kiana. I think that this character is just very good in general. Ooh, Colton going in for an invade or maybe just warding up is actually going to get the better of Peach with damage. I don't think Peach understands the matchup right now. Aries taking out that fear and claiming first blood, flashing over the wall and able to put Peach into the grave. I was just about to compliment you, Peach. What are you doing?
Unfortunate pick out and an absolutely... I mean, obviously, you use your summoner spell, you secure the kill, but the Vex just flashing over that pit was just not expected. And then that fear comes out, and you're just kind of stunned, and you're stuck twiddling your thumbs going, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
It's something you can't predict, especially when Ares is just sitting in the grub pit for no reason.
Right.
You don't really know.
Oh,
exactly
who does that? What
but
is
I guess
this?
now he is. It's to support his jungler, as this is something that's bitten them in the butt before. However, it seemed like Colton actually had the upper hand on Peach the entire time anyway. Unfortunate for Peach, however, 1 kill isn't going to be the end of the world. In fact, Arrow Hunter is going to beat down Ares as much as possible just to prove a point. Ares forced to pop that pot. A little bit of a health potion trade going on in the mid lane as both of these mid laners are going to regain a little bit of HP from that scuffle. Ares is going to hit level 2 first, probably going to upgrade some points into that personal space ability from the Vex just to ensure that this Irelia stays off of his tail.
Yes, I agree. I concur. I'm ready for some tussling.
Yes, quite. Smokes out of peace pipe. Crashing a wave, but taking a turret shot in the process. Aerie now looking a little worse for wear, however. Arrow Hunter is just simply going to stun him up and actually dash forward. The electrocute will land on Arrow Hunter, dealing a lot of damage.
Yeah!
Too late. Ares is put into the grave from Arrow Hunter. You can't stop this man on the melee mids. And this is exactly why we picked this man, these characters. He is so dominant in these early levels and able to bring River Falls back from the brink of extinction.
Oh my gosh! He does it again!
He does it again! With a double! Are you kidding me right now, Aaron? This is unbelievable. A little bit of scuffle going on in the top lane as well. Autumn forced to flash out of the turret. Alizria now trading flashes to go back into the turret. It is just mayhem and a catastrophe for both of these players into the top lane. But meanwhile, in the mid lane, it is anything but a celebration as Arrow Hunter picks up 2 kills for his name and a 100 gold bounty to boot.
I want to see more of this Irelia. Where has this been? I
so
love
used
it.
To the Mbessa. We were talking about this. We were like, the melee mids is something we're used to. I'm surprised they didn't go Akali in this match. I feel like that would have been. I'm surprised they didn't go Mbessa. It wasn't banned.
Mbessa wasn't banned game 1 or game 2.
We were wondering why bring the Irelia, and now we know.
We get it. I get it. It's incredible. The Conqueror just putting in so much work there. I thought the electrocute was from Arrow Hunter for a second because he was just throwing all of the damage. It was the Vex. The Vex has the electrocute. So Arrow Hunter just absolutely putting in work this conquest, and Malphite just holding his own, holding his ground. I mean, we typically see top lane get really pushed back into this turret, and Alizura unfortunately looking really comfortable around it, but really playing up the part of being pushed back. And just this damage that Autumn is taking by being so excessively aggressive on this top lane. And I guess we're going to have to focus on the bot side as Peach is here where Colton was also, and the electrocute comes out, and Colton is jumping out of these bushes, and Peach is just trying to hold her own, and she's unfortunately going to get cut out. I think she was looking for a stun there, not quite. And Arrow Hunter putting in more damage and putting in more work, but the fear is just going to be enough to keep him off. And, under turret, Colton's going to take a turret shot, and the kill will go to Mr. Eerie. We love to see it. That's just great, what you want to see right on your ADC. And Alizria putting in some damage. And this is what we're talking about. This is some River Falls gameplay that we came to see. You know, we always love to gas up our team, and it's so fantastic to see that, you know, we were right, because we are. Eerie just... Wait, does Cookie Ridge get opponent? Oh my goodness. That shield is just enough to keep Cookie Ridge alive. Somehow full mana, no health. But, I mean, 4v4... River Falls just looking really strong in this game, despite keeping it incredibly even. We love to see them win these fights, especially early. It's going to keep their morale up. It's going to keep them wanting to fight more and see that scoreboard. See, you know, we're 1 for 1, but we are winning these fights overall. So we maybe push the gas or push the brake a little bit and not get too ahead of yourselves. You know, start throwing yourselves at the enemies and make sure to keep taking the fights that you can take and not be too aggressive here.
I think that's what Ellsbury is now realizing, or rather Ellsbury trying to pull back, making sure that this wave state goes into a beneficial position for himself, and he's actually beating down Autumn to half HP. The Lee Sin is now losing this fight. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, speaking of losing fights, Ares is going to die to another solo kill for 2 times in a row. Ellsbury gets rooted in the turret, but it's not going to matter when you have a huge boulder coming down that mountain for you, crushed under the weight of Ellsbury. Autumn gets sent back to the fountain. Another solo kill in the span of 2 seconds across 2 different lanes. River Falls is pulling back the momentum away from Missouri Baptist and putting it into their own car.
Is this the same team? River Falls, what have you done?
I cannot believe that engaged in the bottom lane. Unfortunately, Peach did have to trade her life for Colton's eventually once Colton decided to get a little bit too frisky down there under the tier 1. However, a lot of that gold going on to the Misfortune is exactly what you want to see. A little bit low in CS right now, so a kill will make all of that difference, getting this Misfortune closer to 1 item. Still struggling a little bit in his bottom lane, however, this Orianna is proving to be a monster, a beast, a force to be reckoned with as she pushes both members of River Falls back to the tier 1.
Right. Oh my goodness. And we're gonna have some fights here, maybe in the top jungle. At the Colton's here? What are you doing here, Cat? Get out of here. Gonna get the spray bottle. Arrow Hunter is here. He's ready to fight Colton with Peach right behind him. The Vex ult comes out on Arrow Hunter, gonna flee him and just stunlock him basically. But Peach gets that kill onto the Orianna there, a little bit out of range here, and Peach with an absolutely perfectly placed, perfectly timed skill shot there, and ending Colton's life, and the damage is just keeps coming. These health bars are so low.
I was about to say personal space does so much damage to Mr. Wadsworth, but it's not going to cement his life yet. There was so much happening in that fight. The looming shadow from the Vex lands straight on to Arrow Hunter. But unfortunately for the Vex, Arrow Hunter had backup that entire time. The fight went back and forth, but eventually ended with River Falls coming out. I believe it was a 3-for-2 trade there because they cemented their lead at this point. It's going to be a 6-9. Unfortunately, the gold is not exactly where they would like it to be, but now Peach is actually a little bit happier, able to hit that level 6 with no resistance. 3 wards in the exact same place. They definitely wanted to take this fight on the side of Baptist, and they ended up losing it. So they lost a lot of their vision on top of losing all the buffs and the fight.
15 kills in the first 7 minutes and like 40 seconds. It's just incredible. You'd love to see it. And I mean, pardon us if we take a little bit of a break to, you know, catch our breath, because it's been 7.5 minutes of nonstop action. Ellsbury is trying to poke out Autumn, but Autumn is just so elusive being this Lee Sin as they are.
We took the E back, so he's going to take a lot of damage from Ellsbury, so I'm not sure
the
if
ultimate's
he knows
up, the unstoppable is up, the Rock knows what the Rock wants.
Well, he just has to wait for the passive to proc back up, get that shield and the remaining HP.
Oh, the rest of the team is there. Whew. I'm going to wipe my brow here as Missouri Baptist is up in the top river getting these grubs. River Falls is going to secure their first Drake of the series, taking this Hex Tech Drake, giving them a little bit of, was that CDR?
Peach didn't have smite there. I got really scared.
Apparently Orianna didn't even get credit for that. Oh, nobody else got credit for that. Maybe we don't get to see that being the special little spectators that we are.
At the end of the day, Peach did claim that Drake despite not having any smite. However, the blue team that is Baptist University from Missouri is going to claim all of those grubs. Ellsbury, smelling that something was up, did not use that ultimate yet.
Yeah.
So very well done and very good situational awareness to not all in Autumn on this Lee Sin, while Colton and I believe Ares were both hovering that.
Yep, that could have been really deadly for the Rock, and definitely want the Rock to, you know, kind of be on his own island, just kind of sit, meditate, you know, take his fights, and he's going to take just that. It's a pleasure. He's just loading out all of his CCs here on Lee Sin. Lee Sin kind of just has to take it, deal a little bit back, but, you know, it's the Rock is the Rock, so.
Now Lee Sin can wave clear a little bit better against this Malphite, having this Tiamat online and some lifesteal with that big sickle. So I think that there's going to be a lot more sustain on Autumn's side, probably going to take less of these extended trades and maybe try to keep it lax a little bit. However, Alezria is very, very close to a first item right now. 2 Cloth's Armors and a Balmy Cinder on top. Alezria actually using the ultimate, knowing that his jungler is inbound. Peach trying to flash forward, but instead it's actually going to be Autumn that flashes instead. Excuse me. Doesn't matter, though. The flash is useless. You know what isn't useless? Peach on this Kiana. So much damage and only at level 7 as long as we can scale up our Ravenous Hydra.
The Blossom is huge!
The Pop Blossom with the Misfortune ultimate combo.
And Arrow Hunter there!
Arrow Hunter on the side lane is going to force the flash out from Cthulhu.
Where did you come from?
For naught. 4 Summoner spells are going to be expended, and 2 graves will be dug for the side of Missouri Baptist. Colton now jumping out of the push, expending that ultimate Predator, but instead Arrow Hunter is going to use his own ultimate to slow it down. Colton claiming a kill for himself, 2 kills in fact, but not before he is felled by the Aurelia that is Arrow Hunter. 3 kills in that one exchange for this Aurelia, and now he's starting to get accelerated. Ares collecting some plates now into the mid lane. Peach trying to cover as much as he can, or as much as she can, because Ares is in trouble, and they smell blood in the water. River Falls going for a killing spree. Peach claims another for herself, and now it's all across the board. 8-14, 14-8 lead for River Falls.
I love it. I couldn't put it any better myself. I mean, I think I should get my eyes checked, I guess, because I didn't even see Arrow Hunter TPing down to the bot side. There was just so much action happening. It's just so much.
I was about to say Arrow Hunter, and then you said Arrow Hunter.
Arrow Hunter coming in with a folding chair.
He's pulling his knife out.
Oh my goodness.
Great exchange from River Falls, though. Good. Well done, boys. I just can't say it any better.
Yeah.
Very, very big. My compliments go to the chef. They are cooking up some nasty plays, and Coach Gentlcore is cooking up a nasty draft with this one. And this is exactly what I was talking about with draft. Arrow Hunter on this Aurelia is on a rampage. Sign him up for that old 2009 Wii video game because he is rampaging through the streets.
I mean, I was expecting for Peach to come out there or come in there, get fed a little bit, and take that kill. But it was just, I mean, they saw the cat in the cat's natural. Oh
no, not again!
This keeps happening. Alezria still got that ultimate from the rock. I'm guessing they're going to press that button here.
Go back top lane!
Not quite.
Oh, never mind.
Mr. Wadsworth
into the battlefield is going to knock up 2. The Misfortune ult sadly does not do enough damage, but it does not matter because Peach is there. Brought down to about 4th HP. The Proto Belt is actually going to deal enough damage to cement the kill on the Kiana, but it's too little too late. Jungle dies, no problem. The entirety of bot lane is going to be wiped out from that one gank. You'll trade that any day if you're Peach.
Peach is everywhere and doesn't even have full boots.
What?
Those are free boots. She didn't even pay for those.
Magical footwear on a jungler.
Somebody check her pockets. I don't know what else she's got in there, but there's just more. Oh, no. Poor Arrow Hunter's going to get caught out here, and they're going to waste, what was that, 3 ults there?
Ooh, that is not what you want to see, though. Arrow
was
Hunter stepping up a little bit too much and giving over a 1K shutdown over to Lee Sin, kicking him into turret. And like I said, Ravenous Hydra is now going to be online. They made these Hydra items cheaper in, I believe it was the previous patch or second to previous patch. So now these items are going to be a lot more affordable and can be still just as devastating. You got to be careful if you're on the side of River Falls when it comes to these kinds of quick skirmishes. Absolutely.
Alezria's got the minions on their side here, trying to do some damage here, punishing this Lee Sin. Still opting. Imp's absolutely great trigger control on this ultimate. Still has it available, and Peach just, I mean, the math is 1 equals 0. I mean, you have 1 health bar and then you have 0 health bar. That's how that exchange works right there.
The Hextech gun will be online for the Vex, and the Looming Shadow was available. The R key was there, but Ares knew that he just can't deal enough damage to Peach before Peach can put him in the grave. So that is going to be a benefit for River Falls as the jungler takes out the mid with another solo kill yet again. Alezria now just in a boxing match. Full-blown fisticuffs going back and forth. The Lee Sin actually might lose this engage. This may be a solo kill going the opposite way, but no! Autumn heals back with the Ravenous Hydra. So much HP just from one small item. Alezria not having on a full item yet, and it's actually going to be Colton using that leaping pounce to claim the Rock Man's life. Look, though, Sunfire is going to be online. This Malphite is going to be a monster within the next team fight. I think that's what River Falls is going to be aiming to do.
And this is, we get to the point of the game here where River Falls needs to do a little bit of a reality check. See, yes, we're winning some fights, but we need to maintain our focus on these objectives. We need to keep focus at the actual objective of the game, which is, take down the enemy Nexus. And in order to do that, we've got a little bit of help. We've got 2 Drakes in the pocket already, and as I was saying that, Mr. Wadsworth is falling. I think Peach is just a little bit too pushed up far and going to cost her life and her support's life. And Arrow Hunter is here as well for some support, and we've got a teleport in from Alezria here, but then the Lee Sin is here to answer that as well. Arrow Hunter, no ult available. Alezria also no ult available. Eerie trying to do some poke damage here and just support Alezria, trying not to have too many lives be lost on the side of River Falls. And as I say that, Alezria is just getting pummeled out by Missouri Baptist, and Eerie still fighting for his life and is able to, so far so good, get out. And really, this is a reality check for River Falls. They've been taking a lot of kills here, but where does that go? You've lost a couple of turrets because of the moves that you've been making and where your laners have been going, allowing Missouri Baptist to kind of just be like little termites in your house that is building your mansion, and then all of a sudden the mansion looks great, it's all done, it's all completed, and then you walk in and then you fall through the foyer.
Yeah, unfortunately for River Falls, they simply bit a little bit too much. They couldn't chew it. And what they were chewing right there was a beneficial team fight, because they simply could not swallow the truth that they are going to be a little bit outgunned at that point. They were playing under the tier 1 turret of the enemy. The shockwave landed before the fight even started onto, it wasn't Peach, I believe it was actually Wadsworth trying to go in for a little bit of an angle. I was watching Peach's R-key to see if that Kiana ultimate was going to make a difference, as both of those players in the bot lane were playing around walls and could have gotten stunned up with a huge amount of chick damage. But sadly, it was going to be Colton on the other side that leaps over and does too much damage onto Peach, one-shotting her before she can click any of the buttons, really. So, unfortunately for River Falls, they simply just wanted to commit onto a fight that was already lost, and they just kept dumping resources and men into it before eventually there were only 2 left standing, and that's why they had to eventually bail out. Is going to be personal space expended by the Eerie, but it's not going to be enough to get him out of Arrow Hunter's ultimate, and that is going to be done and dusted for Ares yet again. It's going to be 3 and 7, 7 deaths. The majority of them are from Arrow Hunter.
They're great at these. They're great at taking these fights. I mean, Alezria is, again, winning these 1v1s versus this Lee Sin, but Missouri Baptist is going to pick up the Rift Herald here. River Falls wasn't on mid lane to push up that mid turret, so that mid turret tier 1 for Missouri Baptist is going to stay up. Alezria needing to double back a little bit, still has the ultimate available if Autumn decides to go under turret, which they do, and Alezria is wise to it, but Autumn not getting targeted by that turret. Oh,
ooh,
the ultimate.
Yeah, it does.
Beautiful.
Shut down the Lee Sin. Back to the
Oh my gosh.
Shut down, and the ultimate used from the Kiana.
We've got
takes
assassins.
down the Ashe, just trying to rotate from the mid lane back into the top lane, trying to help his boys out, but Peach is there to stop it. Now Colton trying to make a play for himself onto Peach. Peach rooting it up with those grass cues, but it's not going to be enough. Colton is on a rampage and trades out 1 for 1 in that mid lane. However, the damage was done.
Go Eerie, be careful, don't go by that bush.
I was about to say the tier 2 in the top lane was already taken. And I think Eerie and Wadsworth already know that. That's why they immediately rotated into the mid lane. But Colton could have lined up right there and taken off the face of Eerie. This Misfortune needs to be very careful around these kitty cat claws.
Absolutely. River Falls banking a tier 1 on the bot side. And oh, goodness gracious, we're up 5 kills, but we're down 3K gold. And if we just focus our objectives, we stay together, we're obviously winning the majority of these picks that they're taking, which is great to see. River Falls still not making, dumb picks and trying to just face check this. Oh my gosh, as I say that, unfortunately Arrow Hunter is getting caught out. Thought it was safe, but Colton has just been kind of everywhere.
This Rengar is a menace. Now that Cthulhu is able to boost him up with that little orb. Peach actually
oh my gosh, the health bar just goes away.
The ultimate does so much damage onto Colton, one-shotting him, but instead it's going to be the shockwave there to claim him as well. Ares trying to do as much as possible, using that personal space to push away the remaining 2 members. I got tricked out by the clone right there. 2 members out of River Falls. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange from the junglers. Cthulhu actually died in that exchange as well.
Are you going to get pinched out here with this Lee Sin above him?
Oh, unfortunately, the kick lands true onto Eerie, and the Misfortune goes back into the grave. Whatever I was saying about even trades, it is not true, because 3 members of River Falls ended up dying in the previous 30 seconds. However, Game's not over yet. The Drake has just spawned. The Chem Soul is going to be active, and we can get on Soul Point here pretty soon,
And I think
as long as River Falls sets up properly.
Arrow Hunter is really trying to push up some waves here. He's got Hullbreaker. We're going to try and do some split pushing here.
Yeah, I was about to say. With the Colton running around on this Rengar, speedy Rengar he is. I don't know if that's the correct idea. I think bunching up and playing front to back may be the way that River Falls wants to play it. Now that Alizria is going to be in these team fights, using that Malphite ultimate to actually engage.
Oh no, Wadsworth, look out! No!
And just as I was saying, he is everywhere. Colton is inside Mr. Wadsworth. He's in his mind. He knows exactly where he is, and he's soon about to be in Arrow Hunter. No, just kidding. He actually gets booted up from the Bola. The Bola stops him in his tracks. He flashes away, but the arrow lands true. Frost Arrow stuns him in his place, and Arrow Hunter is sent back to the fountain. Now Colton jumps on to the remaining players of River Falls, but gets one-shot himself. Peach doing so much damage. The ultimate is used from the Kiana, but doesn't land on anybody. Now it's Alizria in the middle of the fight pit, trying to fight for his honor and his boys. Cthulhu
Beautiful turnaround.
is the only one able to get away in this exchange on the side of Missouri Baptist. A flash form from Peach lands onto nothing as Cthulhu flashes away. Peach brought down to 1 HP, but is simply do much damage for Cthulhu to work with. A 4K for the side of River Falls. Autumn in the mid lane now trying to make some magic happen, but Wadsworth is there to pick up the remaining members of this wave. Those minions are going to fall. I don't think River Falls is going to make their way to an objective yet, though.
River Falls has been keeping it even still with these team fights, but again, yeah, those objectives are just falling, and Missouri is just tackling it. Arrow Hunter is here trying to punish Autumn, but really just taking some minions here before really laying into Autumn, and this...
He does have the kick available.
Got some backup. We've got some backup.
I'm surprised Arrow Hunter actually didn't want to commit the ultimate there, because slowing down Autumn and able to get that pick could have secured Drake. It would have led to a strict 5v4 into that bottom side, but it seems like River Falls knows that they can just rush it with Colton and Ash. So I think Cookie Edge and Colton are just going to try and start this Drake up. Oh, actually, they may be going for an Autocon right now. There's going to be a TP.
Oh, Lesrio's going to be TPing right on it.
They might catch him. No, they don't. They don't even see the TP.
I think they ran away from it. Maybe it was cloaked right underneath the
There's no
Autocon.
blue trinkets in that banana bush. I don't think Baptist is aware that every single member of River Falls is there, and as I'm saying that, Colton gets stunned up and takes about half of his HP. Peach is actually going to be the first one to fall right now at the hands of Cthulhu. Arrow Hunter now onto the backline trying to take down Cookie Edge, but the barrier is there to save his own life. Alizria now taking down the support of the enemy team, but it's too little too late. 3 members of River Falls have died, passed away into the grave.
Oh my God!
Possibly can, but gets feared by the personal space from Ares. Now it's going to be a fight for the death between the two 1 HPs of Autumn and Alizria. Can something be done before this Lee Sin is able to lifesteal off of him? Can he do something? No, the honey fruit actually might save this Malphite.
Wow.
He's able to get out.
The Drake,
no way.
The Drake and the Otacon are still up. No team able to take either. And since that, Missouri Baptist is lining up some vision here, and it's going to be a rush just to get right back into that Drake pit and have another one of those fights. Ares going to opt for pushing up some lane here.
Every single ultimate was used, including Shockwave, but Shockwave is now going to be off cooldown. The back, or sorry, not the back. The back kick is going to be online for Autumn. Colton just got the King of all Hunters.
Lesria's ultimate is back
the
up.
Invisibility ultimate is. That's what Colton has. Actually pops it right
now.
Oh my
gosh.
Goes invisible. Nobody knows that Colton is on the back line and one-shots Mr. Wadsworth before he can get the Pop Blossom off. Now it's going to be Alizria using his R key to knock up 2 members of Baptist Church, but it is not going to be enough. No damage is there to support the top laner for River Falls. And now it's going to be a 2v5 favoring Missouri Baptist.
You know, we've got 2 of our assassins still alive. They could try and make a play here.
I think they're simply too far away from the Thornbound Otacon, and all of that XP and flowers will go towards the side of Baptist, and now they're looking to get Chemtrake as well. Nobody on River Falls wants to contest this. They're just going to be going for a tier 1. I don't even know if they're going to be able to get that.
Yeah, Arrow Hunter pushing in those minions, but this Ashe has just got so much attack speed. Kraken Slayer, Phantom Dancer, BF, building up for something bigger.
Berserker's Greaves.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're still tussling. We're still in this. River Falls still trying to hold their own. Still making plays where they can, and still getting away with some even team fights, if not positive team fights. Ooh, Erie gonna get caught out by 2 ultimates here. That's just insult to
And the
injury.
Looming Shadow and the Ice Arrow are going to land true onto the support player for River Falls, and Wadsworth is going to be sent back to the grave. Only 30 seconds, though. Pop Blossom will be available for the next team fight if River Falls chooses to play docile for the next 23 seconds.
Really trying to secure that kill, and yeah, Aries and Cookie without those ultimates.
Ooh. And this is the problem with Rengar.
All
Once
that
he
health
gets
just
ahead,
came
it's
right
able
back.
to one-shot anybody. Dives into the tier 2 tower and makes sure that Erie is not able to play this video game. Peach is able to trade it back out, but not before she is felled by Cookie and Aries into that mid lane. They're marching down with 4 members, Gavin. I don't know if River Falls can defend this.
Yeah. We're going to be fighting in the fountain here with the River Falls tank. Arrow Hunter not assuming the brawler role here on this Irelia, just going for the assassin push as he's trying to grab a tier 2 on this bot side and teleport back. We've got 3 Malphites up in the fountain. What is that? Ooh, right before the TP comes in, Arrow Hunter able to secure that and maybe even grab a kill for himself. Doesn't know who quite is showing their face, but Aries is here. Arrow Hunter going to try to opt to, get away rather than try and take another kill here. Wise to the moves of Baptist, as if you see one, there's probably another one around.
They're like cockroaches.
Yeah, right. I'm checking under my floorboards.
You see 2 in the kitchen. Odds are there's probably plenty more. Wadsworth and Alesria now finding Autumn, but he's able to just dash away with
Oh, Arrow Hunter waiting for it.
Ooh, a trap set from the Irelia. Aries flashes out of the ultimate, but Arrow Hunter is hot on the tail. The stun lands true, and there's going to be a shutdown.
Oh my
Meanwhile, into the
God.
top lane, Pop Blossom lands onto 1. Wadsworth is absolutely one-shot, and Alesria is soon to follow. 3 members of River Falls are put in the grave before we can even blink. It is just going to be up to Erie and Arrow Hunter to protect these 2 remaining Nexus turrets.
And he's just so fast, Colton, on this Rengar with the ability to not only just strike fast, put up huge damage numbers fast, but get that healing, or get that health back. Like, he's back at full health now, pretty much.
Unfortunately, the first Nexus turret will fall. Can River Falls make some magic happen? We've seen them come back from worse before. Arrow Hunter, the man of the hour. We've sang his praises the entire game. Falls to Colton. So much lifesteal onto this level 17 Rengar. 17, 9, and 9 right now. And it looks like the red ruby crystal is going to erupt. An unfortunate loss for River Falls, but a valuable learning experience.
You want to come up here? All right, our ADC, our beautiful man Erie, is ready to show up. As the series has concluded with an 0-2 versus River Falls. What's going on, Erie? How do you feel?
Oh, it's we're feeling good. Guys, promise you, we'll get them next time. We'll meet them in the finals of playoffs, and we'll get them next time.
Yep.
Those were some really close games. I'm just saying, it lasted 10 minutes longer than it did.
It did.
Game 2.
You guys came out really strong in that game, too. That looked really good. I mean, we absolutely loved it. We always say, right after you guys get stomped by a team, you always take something back. You never lose your cool. You're always back in it. And you really showed up for game 2. And those numbers were crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, we were at
support.
15 kills by 740. Crazy. I love the Nico pick, too. That was absolutely beautiful to watch.
That's William's
the multiple pop blossoms towards the end of there.
It was Williams the GOAT.
Yeah.
That's like replacing me as support, They moved me to ADC. I didn't get the choice, okay? I got moved as William came in.
Yep.
That's my GOAT.
I want to pick your brain since you're here. What's up with this Senna pick? You look really comfortable on it, and we love to see it, but you just keep getting bullied.
Oh, yeah. No, so so the Senna pick, it's good because as a support, I played Senna, and for whatever reason, like when I started getting like autofilled ADC and ranked, I'd play Senna because I know
It's a natural progression, right? Yeah.
And so that just came in as my strongest pick. Honestly, I'd say Ashe is probably my strongest pick now, but Senna's still up there. I think the issue we have is it's like the weak lane, and also in game 1. I don't know. There's not much you can do there.
Right. Yeah.
On any champ.
Yeah. And against these assassins, and Colton was just everywhere in your jungle.
Oh yeah.
And he's just gonna be right up behind you and tickle your armpits and put you on the floor.
Dude, I got one autoed like 3 times last game. 3 of my deaths was Rengar.
Yep.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, and it seemed to happen to them as well. Peach just putting in massive damage.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of seemed whoever was able to make that first move was able to take it. And
no, it really was.
Colton
but
being invisible was really hard to catch out.
Just pressing R.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. I needed Edge of Night, but I didn't build that. So it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll get them next time, I
Yep.
promise.
We always love to come back for the next time. I think Rocket League is going to be streaming next Tuesday, so we'll see. But we'll for sure see you. We'll for sure see you here in 2 weeks. But we've got games here at River Falls throughout the week. River Falls running some Overwatch, some Rainbow Six, Smash Brothers as well, and then that Rocket League team looking really good for their JV and varsity teams. So I think that's going to be it for us. We'll catch you next time.
We'll get them next time, guys. Go team.